Hello, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Layla, and for today's video, we're going to be going over what I spend in a month on average. I'm pretty excited for this video. I have done this every year. This is going to be the third year now that I'm filming this, and I typically do it around July, August, so figured it was time to do this again. Now, in the past, when I filmed this, I don't know what numbers I was just kind of like going off of an average, but also kind of guesstimating things, it seems like, because I went back and watched my 2021 video for this, and it didn't entirely make sense. So this time, what I did is I took an average of my spending from January 2022 through July 2022. So these are exact averages of my take-home pay, of my spending in each of these categories. I don't think it's going to be 100% perfect, and I'll kind of explain things as I go, but this is almost exactly average of what I spent for 2022 in a month. So I think this is really cool to look at, and I'm just going to jump into it. Feel free to ask any questions if you want to. So of course, the first thing to start with is my income, and what I put as my take-home pay is, this was an average of everything, but I did not exclude the money that I put towards my 401k because I wanted that to be part of my spending. So the average income I make in a month, well, at least for 2022, is $5,867.27. So that is the average of my take-home pay, and then I added $300 to it because that's how much I put to my 401k, which I wanted to count as my spending. So $5,867.27. Now, y'all know that my income fluctuates pretty frequently, and not my full-time job income, but my side hustle income, extra income, all of that changes from month to month. The other thing is that this is taking into account January and February, of course, because that's part of 2022. And in January, February, I did make a lot more money because I was at my previous job, and I was earning a little bit more. And then I also had higher earning months for just my side hustles. And then there have been, like, I think July was a high income month, and then everything else was kind of low. So yeah, that's just kind of to explain that. This time for this video, I'm much more organized. Like, I have things in better categories. If you see me looking down, I'm looking at my laptop, by the way. So this is broken down by the main categories that you would have in your budget. So instead of me going through every line item of my budget, I kind of clumped things together where it made sense. I organized this from where I spend the most money to the least money. So we're gonna start with my highest spend category. The first one is housing/utilities. So this time I combined the two, and I took the average, as I said, from January through July, and that total amount is $1,625.12, or 27.7% of my income. Now, this is fine. This is normal to me. I've always been around the 30% mark when it comes to my housing. I do live on my own. It is a little bit more expensive than, I mean, honestly, I don't think my apartment's that expensive. For what I get, for what it is, for the location. I moved at a good time several years ago, so I pay a lower rate than everybody else living here. I know that. And especially the housing market now. Like, I'm in a pretty major city, and there's like a lot of convenience around me, you know? Like, I can literally just walk 100 feet and I'm at the grocery store. And then there's other apartments like further out in the suburbs, or it's just not as nice of an area, that they're paying more than I am. So I don't think it's that bad. This is just kind of what it is. I live on my own, and I'm perfectly fine with that being 27.7% of my income. That's actually not too bad in my opinion, because that also includes my utilities. So this is everything. This even includes renter's insurance. So renter's insurance, Wi-Fi, electricity, water and sewage, pest fee, and trash, and then of course my rent. So not too bad. Next largest category, I'm happy to say, is my savings/debt. In total, that is $1,264.99, or 21.6% of my income. So this number was a little bit tricky to calculate because I think what I did in the past was count all of the money I was putting toward my sinking funds as savings, but I don't like to do that now because for example, I put money toward a car insurance sinking fund. I put money toward gifts. I put money toward travel, and then I end up spending that money. So it's not, to me, I don't see that as saving. It's not like my emergency fund. It's not like saving for another car in the future. That is sinking funds. So I don't really count that. So what I did was I did an average of what I put toward my debt plus I did 200. I can assume that I'm putting 200 to savings each month. And that's not even accurate. So this number is probably a little bit low because for a while I was doing 600 per month to my emergency fund, but I don't know, this works. All these numbers add up to, it's 100% of my pay. Everything adds up to that. So we're just going to go with that. So $1,264.99 towards savings and debt. One thing that's a little bit upsetting is that I went back and watched my 2021 video for this, as I said, and I was like, by this time next year, my goal is to be debt free, and I want this to just be savings / investments. I'll combine those. There won't be any debt involved. Unfortunately, that's not the case. I do still have my debt. We are getting close, and by this time next year, it'll be gone. I will not have debt, okay? Because that's, by 30, which I will be 30 next year in July, that is my final goal. Like, I need to hit that, and that's exactly what I'm aiming for. Yeah, not a big deal. I did think I would be a little bit further along, but I am really glad that I haven't had to pay any interest on all of this debt that I have because of the student loan forbearance, and that's the only debt I have, so that's good. Number 3 that I'm also happy to see as the next one is investing. So this was $600 because that is what I have done. I do $300 per month for my Roth IRA. $300 per month goes to my 401k, plus my company matches that, but that's not my money, so I'm not counting it. So $600 total, and that is 10.2% of my income, which is pretty decent, between my savings and my investing, that's over 30%. And, once I am debt-free, the bulk of my money will go to investing. The bulk of my leftover money will go to investing. Of course, I do want to continue to save more once I'm debt-free in my emergency fund, to save for a house, to save for everything else. But definitely a huge interest in increasing this investing amount. The other thing here is that, with any raises that I get with work, or if I get like my bonus, I'm pretty sure my bonus will also, I'll put 6% of my bonus to my 401k. So that's going to be good and will bump me a little bit higher than the 10.2%. But I am happy to see that. And I do plan on maxing out my Roth IRA this year, but I've only been doing $300 per month so that I can prioritize my student loan debt. And I have until April to max out my 2022 Roth IRA, so I'm not too concerned about that. All right, next area is business / electronics, which I did put together. I put this together for something else. What was I doing? Oh, like my spending plan. And the reason I did this is because typically when I purchase an electronic, like so, my new MacBook, I purchased a GoPro earlier this year. Those are business expenses and I can write them off. So yes, it's fun for me to have, but I am not using my GoPro for fun. I am not using my MacBook for fun, really. Like, this is the bulk of the time I am editing, I'm creating some form of content with my GoPro, so I can write these off as a business expense, which is amazing. I also have to pay a few thousand every year just to maintain my business, so there are certain platforms that I use, like I have subscription services I pay for, or I have my domain names, security, anti-spam, all of these things that I have to keep my business running. I don't spend too much on it, but anyways, I'm talking too much about that. The amount here, I just wanted to explain that because it's a little bit higher because of that, and this was pretty expensive, so that is included in the average, and that came to $470.98 per month, or about 8% of my income. So that's enough explaining there. Next area is food. This includes groceries and food out. This came to $455.20 per month. This is definitely high on average because of when I traveled in April, I spent so much on food out. So that's like definitely skewing the data, because y'all know that I barely spend money on food out, and my grocery budget has been pretty low. Like my grocery spending has been pretty low the last few months. So this is definitely high, but that's okay. Still only 7.8% of my income, which I think is perfectly reasonable. Next area is personal / miscellaneous. So this is really anything. Anything that was in the personal spending, anything random, like I purchased some postage or like paying for shipping, I included that here. Anything like fun, entertainment, purchased some concert tickets, paying for parking. I think I even included, I included my home and office purchases, like my new desk was averaged in there. Spotify was averaged in there. Netflix was averaged in there. So just all the things that I didn't want to put into a separate category is in this personal miscellaneous category. And on average, that is $387.11 or 6.6% of my income, which I don't think is too bad, but I would ideally want this to be a little bit lower, like maybe $250 per month. And y'all know that I went a little crazy in July, went a little crazy in June on my personal spending, so that is somewhat normal for me to have higher spend months, and that's fine. I'm still happy to see this at a decent amount, under 7%. I think that's not horrible. But yeah, since this is an average, like there are some months where I don't spend any money on personal spending or in the miscellaneous category, and then there's some months where it's like $500. So this just averages it out. Next category is health / beauty. This came to $380.67 or 6.5% of my income, almost similar to, it's basically the same as my personal spending. This is fine with me. I always give a breakdown of what I spend my health purchases on or the beauty purchases. It's primarily health stuff, definitely not things that are necessary, but like I go to the chiropractor every 6 weeks. I have to go to the doctor quite frequently because of my health stuff. I do get a lot of supplements. They are pricey. It just is what it is. If I purchase any beauty products, it's usually a little bit higher end. So not even, I really barely, it's like my cleanser, my moisturizer. It's like one time a year. Y'all know that I get like IV treatments. These are just like fun ones, as I like to call them, not where you're in the hospital, and it's not fun because I don't want to do those, but these are just for my overall health, and those are pretty expensive. I've done that twice this year, so that's bumping this up. But yeah, I think 380 is, I'm fine with that. Like that amount makes sense. Again, I would like to see this a little bit lower, maybe also 250 per month once things kind of start to settle out. Or honestly, whenever I think about like my future and being debt free, I actually would be spending more in this category. There are some like beauty treatments that I would like to get, cosmetic wise, that are not necessary, and I think it'll be a little bit like laser hair removal. And y'all, I've talked about getting sweat treatments all the time. I have hyperhidrosis, so I really want to get that done. I would like to get monthly massages because I work out a lot. I think massages are the best thing in the world. And if I were debt free and if I were more financially stable, I will definitely be getting some sort of massage membership. So this may go up. We'll see. Next is travel. I've only traveled once this year, but I had to put this on here because it was a larger spend. And if we broke it down, you know, as an average, it comes to $214.71 or 3.7% of my income. Now, yeah, it was a big spend area for me in 2022, and every year I would say I do at least a trip or two. So I would say on average it is 200 plus a month, and then maybe a little bit higher even. So later this year, I'm probably going to be booking a trip for the following year. So it will bump that up a little bit. I think that's about right though, 200 per month. But obviously I'm not traveling $200 worth every single month. It just happens to be part of the average. Next category, dogs. So this is going to be for me and my sister's dog. So I explain this a lot. It's kind of annoying, but me and my sister used to live together. We used to foster dogs together We foster failed on 3 dogs. So we adopted 3 dogs together. Unfortunately, one of them has passed since then, so there are 2 dogs left. So I send her money every month, kind of like child support or dog support for her because she has them. And then obviously for me to help out with the food or any vet stuff that comes up. And then we also have insurance for them. We also earlier this year got a teeth cleaning for one of them because the other one didn't need it. So that bumped up this price a little bit. So on average per month for the dogs, it is $207.14 or 3.5% of my income. More recently, I did have a foster dog. Spoiler alert, she did get adopted last week. I'm fine saying that now because this won't be up till Friday. So I haven't made the announcement yet, but I'll make the announcement tomorrow on like my social medias and stuff. But that is not included in this dogs. I'll get to that in just a moment. That's part of donate. But yeah, for the dogs, this isn't forever. So eventually it's sad to think of, but like, unfortunately dogs pass just like we do. So yeah, for now, that's what it is. I'm completely fine with that. I think 207 is decent. I'm splitting this with my sister. And then obviously she has the large responsibility of taking care of them, and since they live with her. So I am perfectly content with sending her the $160 that I do every month for that. Next category I'm so happy to see down here is car, everything with transportation. So this is my car, any gas for my car, and then even insurance for my car. This is also car washes and car maintenance. I have no payment. I don't have car debt. I've already paid it off, as y'all know. And then I barely get gas. It's like once a month, sometimes not even, because I barely drive. I work from home. And altogether, this comes to $138.37 or 2.4% of my income. So that is amazing. I love this. Next area is donations, and that average came to $82.98 for this year, or 1.4% of my income. Now, all of this, anytime I donate money, like actually donating money, it goes to an animal rescue because that's just what I prefer to donate to. So that's typically my $50 per month while I'm paying off debt. Once I am debt-free, I would like to increase this. More recently, it was increasing because I had my foster dog. So anything that I purchased for her, her food, her supplements, the toys that I got for her, I counted that as a donation since she was not my dog. Now this will be going down a little bit since she's no longer my foster dog. She's been adopted. So yeah, this will go down a bit. Or I don't know, I'm considering increasing from 50 to 100 per month so that I can, I hate this at 1%. That sounds really awful. Like I can afford to donate more. It's just like I always just feel more comfortable to put it toward my debt or to put it toward my savings because that's like the right thing to do. That's what feels right. You gotta, like put your own life vest on before helping others. And obviously I'm in a pretty good place that I can donate more. So yeah, that may change. We shall see. Final category is my phone, and this is just $40 a month. That's what I pay every month, and that is 0.7% of my income. So nothing to explain there. Actually, I will explain. I'm on a family plan. We have Verizon, so that's myself, my sister, my dad, my stepmom, and yeah, that's why it's a lot cheaper for that plan, unlimited everything. I know some people use like Mint and all that, but yeah, we like Verizon. It's worked well so far. I don't have, my phone is paid off. I don't have to pay for any of that. I don't have insurance on my phone, so this is just strictly the phone bill. And that's it. That's how I spend my $5,867.27 of income per month. Pretty decent breakdown, in my opinion. I know some people may see the housing as the top thing and judge me for that or think it's stupid, but technically it's not. If we were to combine my savings, debt, investing, that's higher. That's over 30%. So that makes me happy. Definitely happy to see cars down on the list, way down on the list, 2% of my income. I never liked having my car bill being so high. I used to pay almost $400 to finance that car, which is a lot of money. So now that money is rolling over into my savings and such, and then once I'm debt free, I can put the few hundred or even over 1,000 that I put sometimes to my student loans to investment. So I know I talk about this a lot. I'm just so excited for that day because it's been a long journey. And yeah. But yeah, that's it for me. Comment down below if you have any questions or if you want to share your budget breakdown. Thank you so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video.